The ship reached the other side of the Sea of Galilee, and Jesus stepped out onto the shore. Somewhere nearby, among the tombs, were two men most people did their best to stay away from. Both were possessed with devils and were exceeding fierce, so that no man might pass by that way. But we know more about one of these men. He had been this way for a long time. He didn't live in a house anywhere. He didn't even wear clothes. He lived among the tombs. And to a Jewish person, there was already something unsettling about that place. Under the law of Moses, even touching a grave made a person unclean. But this man wasn't just passing through. He was living among the dead. People had tried to keep him under guard and bind him with chains and fetters, but nothing held him. He pulled the chains apart and broke the fetters in pieces. Nobody was strong enough to hold him. Day and night, his cries could be heard coming from the tombs and mountains as he wandered through those lonely places, cutting himself with stones. People knew where he was, and they knew better than to get too close. But then, Jesus stepped out of that boat. When the man saw him from a distance, he came running and fell down before him. Jesus commanded, "Come out of the man, thou unclean spirit." And a voice cried out, "What have I to do with thee, Jesus, thou Son of the Most High God?" The people in that region may not have known exactly who had just stepped onto their shore, but the devils did. They asked, "Art thou come hither to torment us before the time?" And they begged him not to send them into the deep, into the abyss where they feared being confined. They knew there was a time of judgment coming, and they knew Jesus had the authority to send them there. Jesus asked, "What is thy name?" The answer came, "My name is Legion, for we are many." Legion. To somebody living under Roman rule, that word would have brought to mind a military force numbering in the thousands. We don't know exactly how many devils were inside this man. We just know there were many. Nearby, a great herd of swine was feeding along the mountain. The devils begged Jesus, "Send us into the swine, that we may enter into them." And Jesus said, "Go." So the unclean spirits came out of the man and entered the pigs. And all at once, about 2,000 pigs rushed violently down the steep bank and into the sea and drowned. The man tending them took off toward the city and countryside, telling people what had happened. And before long, people started coming to see it for themselves. But when they got there, the man they knew wasn't roaming through the tombs. He wasn't breaking chains. His cries wasn't echoing through the mountains. He was sitting there at the feet of Jesus, wearing clothes and in his right mind. The man nobody had been able to hold down with chains was sitting quietly at the feet of Jesus. And for the first time, in who knows how long, the tombs were quiet. And the people were afraid. After hearing what had happened, they began begging Jesus to leave their country. So Jesus turned back toward the ship, and that's when the man who had been delivered started begging too. But his request was different. He wanted to go with Jesus. After everything that had happened on that shore, he wanted to stay with the one who had just given him his life back. But Jesus told him, "Go home to thy friends and tell them how great things the Lord hath done for thee, and hath had compassion on thee." Go home. This man had been living among tombs for who knows how long, and now Jesus was sending him home. Back to the people who remembered his cries, back to the people who had watched chains fail to hold him. Only now, they were going to see something different. The man went throughout Decapolis, the region of the 10 cities, telling people what had happened to him. Jesus had told him, "Tell them how great things the Lord hath done for thee." And the man went out telling everybody how great things Jesus had done for him. Jesus had told him to tell what the Lord had done. So he told them what Jesus had done. And everywhere he went, people marveled. When this story began, this man's voice could be heard crying among the tombs. Then Jesus came, and by the time he was ready to leave, that man was sitting at his feet, clothed and in his right mind. The man wanted to climb into that boat and stay with Jesus. Instead, Jesus sent him home with one thing to tell him: what the Lord had done for him, and how he had compassion on him. So the man who used to wander through the tombs crying out started walking through the cities telling people about Jesus. Same voice, different story.